right, we are live for a big trade to announce. The Detroit Red Wings have traded for Nick Leddy from the New York Islanders in exchange for Richard Panik and a 2021 second round pick. We're going to be breaking down the whole trade live on this channel, but if you are new, make sure to hit that subscribe button, hit that like button if you haven't already, for trade breaks just like this when we're the first one out there on Hockey YouTube. So if you enjoy the content, if you enjoy the breakdowns, make sure you guys stick around, hit that subscribe button, and comment down below what do you think about this trade. But the big trade here today, Nick Leddy to Detroit, which we're gonna break this trade down as it goes. Hello to all the beautiful people first in the chat. Let me know in the chat down below early in this one, Detroit or New York, who do you guys see winning this trade? And let me know in the comments down below if you're watching this on the replay. We already got 60 people in this chat, so let's get started. So again, Detroit acquires Nick Leddy from the New York Islanders in exchange for Richard Panik and a 52nd overall selection, originally from the Edmonton Oilers. This is a pretty big one. Obviously, we'll get into the Graves trade as well later on tonight, but that is a huge deal. And by the way, Detroit retains 50% of Panik's salary, so New York really does get a lot of cap space off the books. So this coming from Frank Zaravelli, with Detroit retaining half of Panik's deal, results in a net addition of $4.1 million in cap space for the New York Islanders. So as we were talking about before, the New York Islanders cap situation, that was a team that I thought needed to make some moves. Nick Leddy, in my opinion, was the most obvious guy to get traded with 1 year left at 5.5. That's a guy you can trade. He had a pretty strong playoffs, and it looks like they get that off the books. Now New York has $8.5 million to work with now, bringing in that Panik deal, but they have Sorokin, Pelech, and Beauvillier as the big guys to re-sign, and as well as Casey Zizekas with the UFA. So they'll need as much cap space as humanly possible, but this definitely helps their cause. And with New York now, they have a lot more flexibility to sign a guy like Pelech, to sign a guy like Beauvillier, to sign a guy like Zizekas. So in that respect, to get Panik and a second round pick back for him, not the worst thing in the world. But Detroit and Steve Yzerman takes advantage of this situation like I knew they probably should. Detroit is a team that doesn't have many defensemen that they really should protect in the first place, and with Detroit now bringing in Nick Leddy, you have a veteran leader there that has played quite a bit in North America so far and has a lot to teach, I think, for a lot of those younger players, and I think still has a lot of game to play. I mean, in terms of some of his analytical numbers, he's not the greatest guy ever, which in terms of his play style does make sense. But over these past couple of years in the playoffs, he's been a relatively effective player and consistent too. And I think for the New York Islanders, they're going away with a guy that's played top 4 minutes for them quite a bit recently. That will definitely suck, but I think it's a casualty that they did have to make, which is sad for New York. But again, they do get some major cap space here. Let me know in the chat down below, guys. New York or Detroit, who wins this deal? Let me know, and we'll be talking about the Graves contract as well. We could see another trade during this live stream potentially. I knew that we were going to see a trade tonight. It seemed that way that we were just going to see something. I mean, I'm pretty sure tomorrow is the deadline for the expansion list. I'm pretty sure either tomorrow or the day after that. So I think it'll be a pretty interesting one. But honestly, like, looking at this trade right now for New York, they need to get cap space off the books. They do that here, and it didn't seem like they were going to get Nick Leddy's full contract out there, but they do bring back Panik. They get a player, I guess, there that could be an NHL player, who knows. But the second round pick and getting that cap space off the books is definitely the biggest part. So that's going to be an interesting trade, I think, for the Islanders side of things. And for Detroit, you get a guy that's only a second round pick for a guy that can play top pair minutes for you and be okay at best, or be okay at least at that position. I think Leddy can definitely serve Detroit pretty well. And honestly, I doubt he'd leave in free agency next year. I think that's a guy that Detroit will want to keep for at least a little bit longer. Massive W for the Islanders. Yeah, Jack, I think this is going to be a pretty decent one for both sides. If I had to say one winner, I would probably say New York. Just being able to get a second round pick for a guy like Leddy. I mean, 2 years ago, it didn't seem like Leddy had much value whatsoever. And oh my goodness, Nick coming with a 3. Thank you so much, Nick, starting out the 3 with the nation. Absolutely appreciated. Sakic and Stevie Y doing good things. Absolutely. Can we get some Nick hype in the chat, y'all? Thank you so much, Nick. What a stud. Appreciate all the nations, by the way, boys, in the last live stream, and we'll see how it goes today. But again, we could see another trade in this live stream. I'm planning to go for about an hour. This trade, though, I think has a lot of layers to it. And again, from New York Islanders, they get a lot of cap space. And looking at their situation, they are going to need every single penny. Again, they got to re-sign Zizekas, they got to re-sign Beauvillier, they got to re-sign Pelech, they got to re-sign Sorokin. And on top of that, you got RFAs like Michael Dowd-Cole, you got UFAs like Coburn and Green. I mean, I doubt they're gonna. The only UFA I see them re-signing is Zizekas if they can, but I think it makes it a lot more likely for them to can actually get a deal done. But Villiers is going to be, I think, one of the most interesting contracts there personally, because he's a guy that I think has proven himself really well in this Islanders squad, especially this past year where he really rounded his game out very consistently. But Villiers is a guy that I could see just taking a pay cut for no reason and just wanting to stick around. So we'll see what happens. I could see him maybe doing a little bit of a bridge deal perhaps, and he's 24 right now, so maybe you want to get that payday, who knows. But the Islanders will have a busy offseason, and they get their first really big move done today, which maybe the Islanders, they've been linked to Parise, they've been linked to potentially Ryan Suter. This would make it a lot easier to sign either one of those guys, so we'll see what happens. DT Shorty, thank you so much for subscribing. I'm gonna get some DT hype in the chat down below. Welcome to the Grab Gang, thank you so much. And of course, if you guys are watching this in replay, make sure you hit that subscribe button. The first one on Hockey YouTube to break this trade, you'll love to see it. And I'm back, by the way, in my old sets. I mean, I can turn around the camera, it's a little bit focused, but yeah, we're back in the old set, baby. We're back in the old set. Can we get some W's for that? I mean, I don't even know. Some of you guys might not even have been here for the old set. But we're back. We're back. We got Larry in here. We got Goldvich. We got a Wild Fan. We got 77.99. Mr. Monster. Snivels McKinnon. We got McAladden. We got Cameron. Tarasenko to the Islanders after the expansion draft. Potentially, I mean, it would really depend on who the Kraken take from the Islanders, because if they take a guy that doesn't really have much cap to his name, then I doubt the Islanders gonna have much space for Tarasenko. But hey, maybe I feel like at this point, honestly, the Islanders could end up like maybe trading Eberle to the Kraken potentially. I mean, they're gonna have their work cut out for them, but if they're gonna really want to go after Tarasenko, there's gonna be a lot of moves that do need to be made. Eichel to the Islanders, David. I don't know who they would have to trade. They would have to trade, like, I mean, at least in that deal, they'd have to trade at least Brock Nelson to make the cap work. At least they'd have to trade like Brock Nelson. I mean, that would be a tough deal to negotiate if you're the Islanders. But hey, crazier things have happened. Lou just made a trade with somebody who captained the Red Wings against the Devils in 1995. Lou was 52 at the time. That's how old Lou is. Yeah, Lou is an absolute dinosaur. I'm saying that in the most respectful way possible. Sniffles is 940 for me, and you stream. Hey, trades happen at any time, Sniffles. Trades happen at any time. We are ready for it, though, on this channel. Let's go. We got 150 in this chat. Thank you guys for joining us tonight. And again, if you haven't already hit the like button on the stream, make sure you guys do so. We're 14 away from 50. Let's get that done. Let's go. Let's go. And again, when it comes to the other trades we saw one other big one at least. That coming yesterday, I believe, and that was the Ryan Graves deal. So I guess we can kind of transition to that since we've talked a lot about this trade already. And once again, for the final time, let me know, Islanders or Red Wings, who wins this deal? And of course, in the comments, if you're watching this, let me know all your thoughts. And when it comes to Detroit, I mean, they shouldn't have any problem keeping Leddy, but imagine Detroit just exposes Leddy and lets him go to Seattle anyways. That'd be, I mean, I guess it's something, but there would be no reason for that, I guess, unless they can make another trade happen. So let's go to the Seattle expansion draft simulator now. I think it should be updated already. Let me see. Okay, it is updated. It is updated. So actually, let me make a window capture here and see if I can actually bring it on. Hey, Dylan, thank you so much for subscribing. Welcome to the Grab Gang. Thank you so much, brother. Can we get some Dylan hype in the chat? My goodness. All right, Seattle expansion draft simulator. So let's see if I can actually make this work. So this is the Detroit Red Wings side of things with the Seattle expansion draft. Let me try to let me just bring up defense and forwards. How about that? So this is the defense and forward list for the Detroit Red Wings here. If I can bring it all the way down, I think that should be all of it. Yeah, okay, so that's it. So these are the forwards and the defense. When it comes to Detroit, these were, I believe the I think these were my picks for the last mock draft, I believe. No, wait, no, I think it reset because I don't think I had Svechnikov. I think I had Ernie being protected. I'm pretty sure that's how I had it going. But when it comes to the defense here, let me bring it up here once again. So they have 3 defensemen as of right now for me protected. And this will make it interesting because I had Dennis Cholowski protected in the last one. But I guess he would be left exposed and they would end up bringing in Nick Leddy. Of course, this is assuming if they keep Nick Leddy and there is another trade involved here, which I don't know. Could be the case. Maybe Detroit ends up flipping Nick Leddy, perhaps. But Nick Leddy would likely be exposed there. It would suck to lose in a Cholowski. I think that's a guy that they might end up being just trading before the expansion draft as well with this trade. But Detroit gets some more options with the expansion draft there. They bring in Nick Leddy, and I would assume they protect him. But Detroit should be fine overall in the expansion draft. I mean, if they lose a guy like Svechnikov, I don't think it'll be the worst problem in the world. But Detroit has some options, and bringing in Nick Leddy, I think, is going to be a big part of that defense next year. I think he's a guy that come playoff time is a little bit better. In terms of analytical numbers, he's not the greatest, but we'll see how it works out. I think Detroit could definitely use him in a pretty good role next year, especially with Moritz Seider coming into the fold. Where's Miro the Hero going? He is staying in Dallas, David. He is staying in Dallas. I want to stop by for this amazing stream. Well, Anthony, good to have you. Good to have you stop by. Josh Palmer, Leddy is perfect to play with Seider next year, and CV will flip him out of the line for King's ransom. Hey, Brady, thank you so much for subscribing. Gonna get some big time Brady hype in the chat. Thank you so much, man. Let's go. Why did the Islanders trade Leddy? I don't get it. Well, he did have 1 year left on his contract. He probably would have been exposed for Seattle in the expansion draft. And New York has a lot of potential problems in this offseason, trying to re-sign guys like Pelech, trying to re-sign guys like Bavillier, Sorokin, potentially Cizikas. That gets $5.5 million off the books with a Leddy deal, and that gets him some more flexibility. Even if he might have been exposed in the Seattle expansion draft, you at least get a second-round pick in Panik, who could be an NHL player back for him. So I think for the Islanders, this is exactly the move you want to make, and for Detroit, this is exactly the move you want to make as well. You kind of capitalize on some of the other cap hit woes. Now, if I was Detroit, hey, Ben, thank you so much for subscribing. If I was Detroit, I think this might be a little bit of an overpay, perhaps, because a second-round pick in Detroit's stage of things right now might be a little bit too much, but I think for Leddy, you still get a great overall potential top-pairing D-man for them, and as some people have pointed out, I think with Moritz Seider, it could do pretty well. Red Wings, they would get a legit top 4 defenseman. Absolutely, Obi-Wan a brick. Red Wings won it by far. I see you, Dylan. Trash teams taking advantage of expansion, as they should. I mean, New Jersey did that. Detroit's been doing that. It's good to see. Thank you guys for joining me today. If you haven't hit that like button, make sure you guys do so. And of course, subscribe if you haven't already. The Nick Leddy trade has gone down. I thought we would see another one tonight. It doesn't look like we will. I think a lot of action will be happening tomorrow, so I'll be live for all of that. Make sure you guys stick around, though. Hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, and hit that notification bell as well to get notified on all the new live streams coming out when they do go live. So, of course, that'll be it for me today. Thank you all for the support recently. It's been absolutely amazing. Let's just crush these next couple of weeks, and let's have a fun time, shall we? A lot of stuff happening. The Seattle Kraken could have their roster finalized pretty soon. So we'll see what happens, and I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye, y'all, and officially see you tomorrow. Have a great night, y'all, and goodbye.